The ecological approach has been a hot topic in the last couple of years, and for good reason, because it's really challenging the status quo. It's challenging how we used to do things. So traditionally, Jiu-Jitsu is taught using static drilling, meaning your partner isn't resisting as you practice something over and over and over again. But in Eco, what we do is we use games to teach, not in addition to static drilling, but again, instead of static drilling. I've been using Eco and games in my gym for over a year now, and I'm convinced it's the way to go. And I want to convince you that it's the way to go. And to do so, I think showing you is the best way. I'm going to show you from different positions how you can make games and use games to teach skill that are much more productive than using static drilling to teach skill. In Eco, we use the constraints-led approach, which basically means games. And I want to explain it to you, but not from a science point of view. I want to do it from more of a practical application, showing you how it actually translates to the mats in an actual gym. Generally, I like to make games based off getting to the position, maintaining position, and then finishing once you get there. And that's true for every position in Jiu-Jitsu, but let's look at the stand-up first to demonstrate that point. So, if I want to get good at single legs and double legs, lower body takedowns, we could play a game where I'm just trying to get to the leg and she's trying to get to my leg or legs and then hold on to it for 3 seconds. So it could look like this. We slap and bump. I'm trying to get to her leg. Boom, I got it. 1, 2, 3. And if I hold it 3 seconds, then I win and we start again. Or we could play where I start with the leg. So I'm here, I'm the attacker, she's the defender. And then I'm just trying to hold this for as long as I can. So she's trying to disconnect herself, get away from me. I'm just trying to hold on to it as long as I can. And if she gets away, then we can switch who's the attacker and who's the defender. We could also play a game where I start with the leg. And now I'm not just trying to maintain it, but I'm actually trying to get her hips to the ground, or I'm trying to get her hands to the ground. There are so many different rules or constraints that we can make to make different games. For example, maybe we play a game where I'm trying to get to her leg, she's trying to get to mine, and just hold on to it as long as possible. So we slap and bump, I'm trying to get to her leg. If I do, I'm not just trying to hold on to it for three seconds, I'm trying to hold on to it for as long as I can. It's on her to get out. So in that case, we're building the skill of getting to a leg, maintaining it, and the other person is working on getting away from you, which are very, very, very important skills. Let's look at some more examples. So maybe we play a game where I start with an underhook, she starts with an overhook. And I would tell the students you can grab this shoulder, the waist, wherever you want to grab as long as you have an underhook. And the objective of the game is, for me as the person with the underhook, I can only attack the far leg with my hand. And what is going to emerge is knee taps. So I can only go for the far leg with my hand. And for her, the only thing she can do is attack my inside leg with her inside leg. And what's going to happen is uchimadas are going to emerge. If I drive too far forward and I'm not mindful of my weight, I'm going to get uchimadaed all day. But if I don't drive forward at all, I'm never going to get that knee tap. So I need to be very careful and mindful of what I'm doing. And in this scenario, she's working her uchimadas, I'm working my knee taps. And if we were to do that statically, it might just look something like this, where, okay, I'm here, I've got my underhook. Okay, now I go for the knee tap. Now let's do it again. I've got the underhook, let's go for the knee tap. And that's so much more of a waste of time compared to actually doing it live. Like, think about the quality of reps that are happening in this game. And this game is so much fun. When my students play it, they have so much fun, and I played it before too, and I have so much fun. I learned this from my friend Kabir Bath, who's been using games at his Jiu-Jitsu Academy for over 3 years now. And a game like this, you can even add different constraints, where now they can attack your leg anywhere using their near leg. So maybe they can go to trip you, maybe they go to trip you backwards this way, but they can only use their legs against your legs. So again, while I'm trying to get that knee tap, maybe a hip throw emerges. Maybe she's here, she brings her legs to the outside, boom, hip throw, because I wasn't mindful of my weight placement. And we can also open up the constraints for me as well. Maybe one of my goals is not just to attack the far leg with my hand, but I can also go for body locks, holding them for 3 seconds in the front, or 3 seconds in the back. Or we could do it where now we can only attack each other using our legs, but we start with underhook, overhook. So we'll be going for trips, uchimadas, trips this way, right? Whatever emerges, rather than looking at one specific technique, like say we're working on trips, right? We can open it up so much, and so many different things can emerge. And again, we can play games getting to the position where we're trying to get an underhook on our partner. And that's going to be so much more productive doing live than doing statically. Because if we were to do it statically, it might be over and over. Get the underhook. Okay, I got it. Great. Let's do it again. Boom, bang. I got the underhook again. That's not going to develop skill nearly as much as just actually fighting for underhooks. We can slap and bump, and now I'm trying to get an underhook on my partner, maintain it 3 seconds, and if I do, I'm the winner. And we could add different starting positions. Maybe she has to have her head on me the whole time, and now I need to battle her head to get to the underhook. There's just so many different games we can play based upon the skills that you want to develop. Now let's look at some games on the ground, and I really like this transitional game I came up with. And now a big thanks to today's sponsor, Elements. If you do Jiu-Jitsu, then you sweat a lot in training, and you probably drink a lot of water to rehydrate, but rehydration isn't just about water. In fact, a lot of athletes drink too much water, which can lead to a low sodium state. Sodium is an electrolyte which regulates fluid balance, which is at the core of hydration. When you don't consume enough sodium, you may experience headaches, fatigue, and muscle cramps. Which is why it's vital to replenish it properly and why I drink Elements. It's a science-backed electrolyte drink mix with sodium, potassium, and magnesium. It'll optimize your hydration and in doing so, your jiu-jitsu as well. And here's the best part, they're offering my viewers a free sample pack with any Element order. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/JordanTeaches. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinkelementT.com/JordanTeaches. Now let's look at some games on the ground, and I really like this transitional game I came up with. The way it works is we start in side control, and you can take whatever grips you want. Well, let's just start with the standard crossface and underhook. So from here, my objective is just to get around her body 5 times, which we could have just be the head only at first, and we could add in hips, we could add in head and hips, whatever we want to do, but let's keep it simple and just be the head. So right here, I'm trying to get around her body 5 times, but I can only go around the head for this one. So I'm here, I'm trying to get to this side here. This would be 1. I'm trying to get back to the other side. This would be 2, all the way to 5. And her objective is to get her legs back in front, meaning re-guard, or become the top player for herself, meaning she can roll me over, or she can just stand up. If she does any of those 3 things, she wins, and we switch who's on the top, who's on the bottom. If I get around 5 times, we switch who's on top, who's on the bottom, because I won. And this is building real skills. This is a very important skill to know. You can't always just stay here. Oftentimes you'll need to transition to north-south or the other side of side control. And for the bottom player, they're working on escaping, right? All 3 things that they can do are all different ways of escaping, and those are such important skills. She can static rep bump and shrimps over and over again, but as I'm trying to go around, different escapes are going to emerge for her that she didn't even need to be shown. And again, we can add in that you can now go over the hips. So it might look something like this. We start here. I'm trying to go around to the other side, but I can only go around the hips, or we can do both. But for here, only the hips. So I'm here. I'm trying to get to the other side. I must go over the hips. I'm here. I get to the other side. That's 1. So that's going to practice our mounts, entries, and that's going to help them because they can start learning how to capitalize as you try to mount them. Traditionally, we could just static rep this where, okay, if someone tries to mount you and they step over, catch their leg. Okay, we just do that over and over again. That's something that your coach might tell you, and it's definitely true, but you're going to find that out during the game. If you're here trying to go over the hips and you're not mindful, you just try to step over, they are going to put you in half guard and they're going to win the game. So the feedback doesn't come from the coach in that scenario. The feedback comes from the environment, what's actually happening. When you fail, you can then adjust. Oh, that didn't work. I need to do something different. And when something does work, the feedback is that worked, keep doing it and try it against different people and see if it still works. Now let's look at some examples from the back. We know that certain things are good for us as the person that has the back, and certain things are good for the person that has their back taken. So for example, having my hooks in is a good thing. So we could play a game where I start without hooks, and my only goal is to get both hooks in, and if I do, then I win. And her goal would be to simply get her back off my chest, which simply means escape. What other things are good? Well, trapping arms are good. We could play arm trapping games, or a game I really like is a game that involves trapping arms and involves rear naked chokes. So we could start in a position where I'm here and I have her arm trapped with my hook. I have her arm trapped with my wrist, meaning this would be a wrist ride, and I start with my arm already underneath her neck. And in this scenario, in this game, I'm not allowed to choke her, okay? I can't choke her, but if I do accidentally, if I just put a little too much squeeze by accident, she could tap at any time, but I'm not allowed to choke her. So I'm just going to start with these 3 grips. And the game is, she's just trying to rid herself of these 3 grips. If she does, then she wins. And for me, it's just continuous. There's no way for me to win. So I'm starting here. Maybe she gets rid of this one first. Okay. And now I lost one. I'm continually trying to get that back, but maybe I lose this one too. All right. I lost that. Right. Maybe I start losing the underneath her neck. I lose that. Right. I want to continually get back to those positions. But when I have none of those, that's when I lose. So here I would have lost. Maybe we're here and she gets her chin out first. Now my objective is to get that back. I need to start getting underneath the neck. But again, maybe she frees herself that wrist ride. I need to start working to get that wrist ride back. She frees herself with that arm. I need to work to get that hook in place again. So all these 3 things are good. And we can funnel our students into these positions without making them static drill it, right? This wouldn't be such a productive use of time to be, okay, students, let's statically drill. Let's trap the arm like this. Now let's trap this arm. Now let's slide the hand underneath the neck and now restart, have your partner do it. That's something we can just do live and build real skill. You see, CLA isn't positional sparring. It might look like positional sparring, but the key difference is positional sparring is very open. It might be something like start on the back, work to get the submission, person that has their back taken, work to escape. And those aren't very clear objectives for a beginner. Whereas for a beginner, it can be a brand new person and they can understand, okay, I need to get my back off their chest to escape. Or for a brand new person, right, they understand, okay, I'm going to start with these grips. These are good grips. I just need to maintain these grips and get them back. That's so much easier to remember and focus on. And it's really important because a beginner especially has so many things going through their mind. It's just hard to focus on what's actually important. You see, positional sparring isn't bad. It's just something different. And in CLA, it's just less to focus on, especially for a beginner, and really focus their intention. Which is something really important in ecological dynamics, is intention, because of self-organization. And what that means is that basically our bodies do things based upon our intent. So for example, if you're playing a video game and you want to aim right to shoot a bad guy, you're not thinking, I need to move my fingers this way, my thumbs this way to make that happen. You have the intention and then your body just does things to make that happen. And it's the same thing in Jiu-Jitsu. If my intention is to keep my arm underneath the neck, my body's going to self-organize to make that happen. One of the big advantages of CLA is time on task, meaning you get to have a lot of time working that specific skill. So any of these games, like maybe the underhook game that we looked at earlier, I've got an underhook, she's got an overhook, and we're going for Uchimata or knee tap. Well, we might not get that opportunity when we're grappling to even be in that position many times at all that night. But when we're doing it in a game, it's repeated over and over and over again, giving you constant feedback in the environment to improve. And just to be clear, I don't think that static drilling has absolutely no value. I just think it has limited value. And when you are at your gym and you have mats to go live and a willing partner to go live, using them as a grappling dummy doesn't really make the most amount of sense to me. When you're at home and you can't go live, that's a great time to learn about different techniques, how other people do things, and just gain that kind of knowledge. But when you're at the gym and you can go live, you should. All right, thank you for sticking around until the end of the video. If you're still here, please leave a comment or a fist bump, and we'll see you guys next time.